Hello everyone, Christina here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to do exactly what the title says. 5 easy blood recipes that you can do at home with ingredients mostly found around your house. And if you can't find any of these ingredients around your house, go to your local grocery store or go to your local art supply store and pick them up. If you want to keep on learning how to make blood, keep watching. So our first recipe is going to be a basic, realistic blood that is commonly used today. This is what you'll need. You're going to need a cup to mix it in. You're going to need a stir stick. You're going to need some gloves. You're going to need some white corn syrup. You're going to need an assorted box, or especially red, blue, and yellow food colorings. You're going to need some water, possibly some dish soap, and possibly some cornstarch or arrowroot powder. You're going to need to pour a half a cup of white corn syrup into your plastic mixing cup. Next, you're going to add your coloring, which is, you got it, red. Just add a few drops of red. Now this next part is a little tricky. What you need to do is take some blue and add just a tiny bit to the tip of your mixing spatula. And I really don't want to put too much in there, but I'm just going to put a little dab. I'm talking a dab of blue. And I'm also going to just put 1 drop of yellow. You're going to give this a big stir. And already you can see that it's starting to look like blood. Now it's a little too light for me still, so I'm going to add just a little bit more blue. Got my blue on my table here. Okay, now it's looking realistic. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is pretty blood consistency. So this next part, if you either want to thin it out or even make just more of a blood consistency, you can do one of two things. To make it non-toxic, you can add some water. But what I prefer is some dish soap. And just remember, this is toxic, so do not whatsoever put this in your mouth. So I'm going to use some dish soap. I'm just going to add a little bit. And I'm just using your basic palm olive dish soap here. You can use Dawn or whatever you got lying around the house. That's the key here, right? So see how it's definitely getting, it's looking like blood. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more dish soap. It smells so delicious. Simply fresh. Okay. So you basically, when doing any of these recipes, you just gotta do what you want. You want exactly. How thick do you want it? You know, I'm gonna add just a tad bit of water. It is a little thick. Yeah, this is lovely. So next, if you want to add a little bit more opaqueness, you can. I'm sticking here. Oh boy, really? That's one thing about this recipe. It is corn syrup, so it's going to be sticky. And you need to wear gloves because it will stain your hands or clothing. So in this next step, you can add either some cornstarch, some arrowroot powder, or even flour. In this case, I'm going to use a little bit of arrowroot powder. I find that this over cornstarch, it doesn't clump as much. So I'm just going to add a little bit of arrowroot powder in here. Give it a good mix, and it's starting to opaque it a little bit more, which is definitely what I'm looking for. The next recipe on our list is going to be great for you parents out there. You're going to need some gloves, a plastic cup, something to stir with, some dish soap of any kind, some red washable paint, and also some blue washable paint. And you're also going to need some white corn syrup.
Corn syrup.
Now just to make things clear, If you happen to have a colored dish soap like this, preferably you want something that's, I guess, red, of course. I don't have red on hand, so the green's just gonna have to work for now. So first you just want to pour some dish soap into your plastic cup. And I'm doing all small batches just so you guys can see exactly how it's done. You're also gonna need your red paint. Of course, I didn't reopen these yet. Now I'm just gonna put a little glob of red paint in there. Maybe a couple little globs. And you're gonna stir it up. Already it's looking like blood. I mean, you could quit right there if you wanted to. That's some pretty realistic blood. I'm just gonna add a little teeny tiny bit of blue just because I like that dark color. I've seen some people actually use black dye, or black in general to color their bloods, and I just don't think that's right. I think that, we don't have black in our, blood at all. It's all colors. So I don't know who came up with that concept. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of blue, and put it in. And that's just gonna darken it up a little bit. Like I said, you can go as dark or light. You wanna start small though. You don't wanna just go and throw a whole glob of blue in there because you're gonna ruin your paint or your blood, for that matter. So in this part, you've got your blood, but if you wanna just thicken it up a little bit more to give it more of a blood consistency, that's when you add your corn syrup. So you can just add a little bit at a time and give it a good stir. Alright, we're already starting to get like a more thicker consistency. And I'm actually liking the way it looks right now. I'm going to put some on the table here just so you can see exactly what this is looking like. So, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's looking pretty good. Looks like blood to me. The next recipe is probably one of my favorites. It's coagulated blood. These are the ingredients. Once again, you're gonna need some gloves, a mixing container, stir stick, some corn syrup, some food coloring, red, blue, and yellow of your choice. You're gonna need some gelatin, and you're also gonna need some boiling water. Parent supervision, kids, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna take that clear white corn syrup, pour it in. Oops, let's not pour it all over the place. So I'm gonna like pour some in here. I'm gonna do like half a cup. And then you're gonna add your desired colors. Add the reds, of course. I'm gonna give that a stir. And you can see just by adding red food coloring to corn syrup, you've really got this good blood consistency. We're gonna amp this one up a little bit more red. And then I'm gonna add, once again, the tiniest little smidgen of blue. Let's face it, people, I like the dark blood. I think we've established that already. So, I don't know about you guys, but that's looking awesome. It's dark, but let's coagulate this. Coagulate, is that a word? Coagulated. So this is the part where you're gonna need some adult supervision if you are a child, of course. If not, then, go grab a pot, put some water in it, put it on your stove, and boil it. In a separate container, preferably a heat-safe container, you're gonna add some gelatin. Now for this recipe, you probably need about 2 tablespoons of gelatin. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna add it to your glass container. And then once the water is boiling, you are going to pour it in slowly and stir in small amounts. And what you're gonna get is this gel-like consistency. And this stuff can get very hot if you don't wear the proper gloves and stuff like that. Do not touch this with your fingers. It is really hot right now. I actually pre-made this already, and I just popped it back in the microwave to liquefy it, because this stuff does get hard to a hard state. So this is the fun part. This is where we're gonna make this coagulated. And when you're making this, you want to make sure all the little granules of the gelatin are completely dissolved and liquefied until you add this to your blood. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit, and a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. So you just add a little bit at a time, and you can already see it's starting to gel. Pretty cool, huh? It is almost like a blood clot looking. It's very disgusting. But you can see how much I put in there, and it just completely coagulated that. Am I even saying that right? Coagulated? But there it is, guys. So this next recipe is actually an edible blood recipe, to a degree, of course. Don't go crazy and make this a daily meal or anything. This is what you'll need. You're gonna need some gloves. I'm not taking mine off. Cup, stir stick, once again, some white corn syrup, some food colorings, and also the special ingredient, Hershey syrup. So let's start again. Like I said, most of these recipes consist of the same ingredients, just with little quirks and stuff added to it for their desired effect. So we're gonna do our corn syrup. We're gonna add some coloring. You can also use Wilton gels, like color gels. I know that some people prefer to use those, but I had these laying around, so I'm gonna use them. So add some red coloring. I don't, let's add some yellow to this one. Spice it up a bit. And a tad bit of blue. Ooh, I think I just added way too much there. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, it's really dark. But you know what? It still looks like blood. I think we're gonna keep with it. See, like I said, you can add too much blue and it can just ruin your blood. So you want to go light. But I'm pretty happy with this. This is nice. And then the key ingredient to make this edible and basically taste yummy is some chocolate syrup. So we're just gonna add a little bit of chocolate syrup. Now you can also use like a peppermint extract or whatever your desired flavor you really want. Just make sure that it is in fact non-toxic. I would not suggest putting essential oils or anything like that in here. That's just crazy. So there is your blood. Definitely it smells so good. I'm just gonna put it in my mouth now. It smells so good. You guys, we're gonna make it real personal up in here. Ready? I'm gonna taste this shit. Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna taste this crap. Ready? It just tastes like chocolate. It's actually really good. This would make great as an ice cream topper. Oh, ideas. Delicious. So the last but not least recipe is a paint recipe. Now this is one of my favorites too. If you do props or haunted houses and you want a dried blood effect, this is what you'll need. Once again, gloves, plastic cup, stir stick, and our special ingredient, which I prefer, is some Mod Podge. You can pick this up at your local art supply store, or you can just go to the Dollar Tree and pick one up for $1. Can't beat that. And once again, your dyes of choice. First, you're gonna pour some of your Mod Podge. Now this Mod Podge, just so you know, is a gloss Mod Podge. Mod Podge. This is water-based sealer and glue finish. So you just want to pour some of that Mod Podge up in there. Okay. And then start adding your dye of choice. In this case, once again, I'm doing red. And you want to throw it in. Ooh, Mod Podge has a funny smell. Add some more red. Because why not? I want it to glisten red. And then, once again, I'm going to add a little baby pinch of blue. I'm going to just maybe do one of those. I don't want to add too much. I'm scared. You guys, I'm really scared. I need to wipe this off. I don't want to ruin my blood. So, add some blue, and it just makes it a little bit deeper color. And that's pretty much it, dude. You can actually add other things in here, but I mean, in blood paint, you don't really need a consistency of any sort because it's, you know, unless you want to thicken it up and do some splatter effects like I'm going to show you. I did some testings of where I added some arrowroot powder and some corn syrup. So this one actually has the arrowroot powder, and I've been touching with it so it doesn't look as shiny, but it definitely makes it more like an opaque color. And with the corn syrup, you get more of like a lighter translucent color. But without anything except Mod Podge and dye, you get this awesome effect. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but I did this the other day. This is just Mod Podge and dye, pretty much. And I did this splatter effect, and it's really cool. If you've seen it, it looks like real blood. Well, that's a wrap, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you have any comments, please leave them below, and happy haunting.